Hi, my name is Samir Parker, and I will be talking about toxic sports fandom. Sports has been known to bring many different people of creeds and races together. That's a positive, but also can bring out the worst in society. The word fan derives from the word fanatic. A fanatic is someone who is fiercely devoted to a religious cause, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. A sports fan can exhibit that sort of behavior also by following a team religiously throughout the year, so it's kind of metaphoric in a sense, as well as sports commentators who agitate the situation between fans and athletes. A particular one being Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith has been in the business for 30 plus years. He started off working for the Philadelphia Inquirer, which he then transitioned to ESPN to work for the flagship program First Take with Skip Bayless. Stephen A. Smith has been known to get in back and forth with athletes, whether that be on television or on Twitter. A notable one being Kwame Brown. He said that Kwame Brown had small hands and couldn't remember any post moves. Now, on the surface, that might not have been disrespectful, but if you watch the video, it came off very in a mockery fashion, very disrespectful, in which Kwame Brown later agreed with on his YouTube page, saying that Stephen A. bullied him at a young age. Stephen A. Smith rhetoric and language has been emulated by people in my generation. You see that all the time on Twitter, whether they going directly at the athletes or the wives and the girlfriends who are defending their honor. Fans have to know the direct impact that they can have on an athlete's mental. It can affect the overall performance on the court or on the field. Now, when that happens, then the whole operation is in trouble. Fans have to be aware of what they said to athletes. Whether they know or not, it can be very hurtful to them. In conclusion, I would like to talk about a Netflix documentary, Untold, which go into depth about the situation, Miles at the Palace. Miles at the Palace occurred on November 19th, 2004, a game between the Pistons and the Pacers. Pistons and the Pacers had a little bit of a history. The Pistons knocked the Pacers out in the previous year and went on to the championship and ended up winning it. The Pacers had that particular event on their mind for a very long time, and they wanted it, and they wanted revenge for that for a very long time, and they got it. They blew the Pistons out fairly easily that night, but that's not all they wanted. They wanted some physical revenge also, in which they got by Ron Artest following Ben Wallace very hard. Ben Wallace ended up retaliating by shoving Ron Artest. Now, this sort of situation is regular in the NBA. Scuffles happens all the time, and they can be resolved very quickly. But on this particular night, Ron Artest decided to sit on the commentator's table. Now, fans thought that as disrespectful, while in reality, Ron Artest was just kind of calming himself down. A fan ended up throwing a beer bottle at Ron Artest, which prompted the whole situation to happen. Ron Artest ended up going into the stands, attacking the fan, but he ended up attacking the wrong fan. And that's where all chaos happened. Fans and athletes going at each other, fighting each other, which could have, a situation that could have been resolved in a matter of minutes, turned into a big fiasco. The fallout of this situation came out of the media and the outside sources who painted the NBA as thuggish and said the NBA should address their image, in which they did by implementing a dress code. David Stern implemented that, and he also gave out multiple players suspensions. Ron Artest in particular got a 1 year suspension for his role in the incident. The fan, John Green, ended up spending 30 days in prison. Not in prison, but in jail. That situation is a cautionary tale that fans and athletes have to have boundaries. Fans have to know their role, have to respect the athletes, their minds and their bodies. They sacrifice on the line almost every day throughout throughout the months. That should not. That should never be in the context. That should never be challenged by any fans who are not on the field or in the court. That should never ever be in contention by any sort of fan. Fans have to respect athletes. That is clear. Because if not, the relationship will always be flimsy. Thank you.